Hi everyone, for tonight's Nightcap and review, I'm having an adult beverage, and tonight I'll be discussing Broken by Daylight by Elizabeth Helen. While I do have this beautiful thick edition, I did read the version off of KU. Of course, I'm giving my honest opinion. Now, this is the fourth book in the series, but you do have to read them in order as it is an ongoing storyline. So you may want to skip this review if you haven't read the previous books, as there may be some spoilers for those books. Now, I do want to say, I just really appreciated how the authors at the start gave a breakdown of all the characters as they are in the story right now and how they're relevant to the story. With such a thick book and a long series, I think it's going to be 7 books with the final book coming out in October. I know I sometimes can forget smaller details of how people are relevant to the story, so I just want to say how much I appreciated that. Here are the highlights and the content warnings, which I will say is only available in the KU version. I couldn't find it in the printed edition. I gave this 5 stars, so what's it about? So this book continues the story of Rosie, who after the events of the last book has been captured and taken as a prisoner and held in a place where she and her mates cannot connect through their bond. But even as she's being interrogated by none other than Kyrian, she refuses to give him not only the answers that he seeks, but also the Summer's token that has been hidden in her cell. When she is not being interrogated, she is left with her thoughts about the recent revelations that she is the queen's daughter, 3 of her mates are the high princes, and the realm that she has come to love so much is about to go to war with the below. But against all odds, she is rescued by the most unlikely of people, only to find that Kyrian and the Nightingale have taken over the spring and summer realm, and that Dayton has a mate and it is not her. Now, if Dayton has any hope of reclaiming his realm, he will have to complete his mate bond and break his curse. And while it may be the best thing for the kingdom and the realm, that doesn't mean it doesn't break her heart. But before that can happen, they have a mission to complete to fight in the Sun Coliseum, because if they come out as victors, they will win her mother's magical bow, which can only be wielded from those of her bloodline. As they fight for their lives against beasts from the below, their friends have missions of their own, one going deep into the below to find a lost queen, and another is for those to find a lost tribe of warriors whose existence have become a myth. Alliances will be made with the most unlikely of people, while others are tested and even broken. But no matter what happens, they will have to fight as hard as they can, or else the realm will fall to a dark god that wants to claim it for his own. So what are my thoughts? Again, I'm giving this 5 stars, and I think this is my favorite book of the series so far. Now, I do want to say that this is a romantasy, and yes, there is romance in this book, but in my opinion, in this book, it is not completely romance forward. It's not a subplot, but even with all the fated mates and resolving of the mate bonds, in my opinion, this book is mostly focused on the missions and quests that the mates go on, which makes sense in my opinion, because an overarching theme of this book is how the mates were cursed because they were deemed unworthy, and now they have to go through a growth to become worthy of their mate bond. So it's not surprising to me that a large focus is on the missions and the growth. I mean, when I think back, that's what I remember most about this book, to get to the romance. In this book, we have 3 quests or 3 missions that were happening. One to reclaim the Summer Kingdom, one to go to the below and reclaim the lost queen, and the other to find the lost tribe of the huntresses. And even though the below quest, in my opinion, was a little bit to the side, not the main focus, in my opinion, it was the most impactful, not just to this book, but to the series, because the ripple effects, like the reveals had me emotional at sometimes, but the ripple effects of those reveals and the consequences not only had a big impact on the end of this book, which I am so curious to see how that plays out, but I think it will carry over to the other books as well, and I'm really curious to see how that happens. Now, with the characters in this book, it mostly focuses on Dayton, Rosie, Farion, and Renly, and their whole situation that's going on, which means there's a lot of delicious tension, fighting of feelings, and a lot of heartbroken feelings as well. Now, Dayton, when he's in his feelings, he lashes out in really bad ways, and you kind of want to slap him upside the head, but with who he is as a person and what he's been through, you also still kind of want to give him a hug. And honestly, I just really enjoyed this story. I can't wait to find out what happens next. I have the other book, Frozen by Stardust, over there. It's a chunker as well. I don't know if I'm ready to tackle it just yet, but hopefully I will soon, because I need to find out what happens next, especially with how this one ended. I hope everyone has a good night and happy readings.